Shout out to G-Man Boxing.
Discipline. That is something that Billy Joe, I'm sure by his own admission, would admit he struggled with over the years. You know, put it in context. Billy Joe, when he won his world title at middleweight from Andy Lee back in 2015, he was out of the ring for a year, during which time, by his own admission, he ballooned to I think 210 pounds, which is about 15 stone. Alright, missed out on fights on Canelo Alvarez's undercard in Texas against Liam Smith because of that. And when he left Jimmy Tibbs originally, he was trained by Jimmy Tibbs for Andy Lee. A year later, he was trained by Ben Davison for that once off against Akabov, right, where he looked terrible in that fight. Then, remember, he actually went to Adam Boot, right? But he stated by his own admission it was too close to friends, family, and temptation, basically. Right? So what he did then was relocated to Sheffield, where he was away from all that. So by his own admission, he said, look, when I'm around, friends, family, this, I struggle. So discipline's always been something that Billy Joe, by his own admission, has struggled with. Now, when he went to Dominic Ingle, he said that now that he's actually really taking things serious and he is in good aesthetic shape, he probably could have done 154. Alright? So he's at 168 now, where Billy Joe's optimal weight is middleweight. He is a middleweight. Recent pictures have emerged of Billy Joe, and for my money, aesthetically, this is the best I've seen him look. Right now, he is obviously training back with Jimmy Tibbs. I think he's over in Tenerife. I think that's where he's training, or his base, his training camp. He only had a fight in December, and as I said, in the past, Billy Joe was known to have a fight, take some time off, and really get out of shape. But this time, it looks like he is taking things serious and he is in good shape. He's trying, I think, kind of, I don't want to say play mind games, but on Twitter he's been like, oh, that's an old pick, that's not me. I remember a couple of weeks ago he was saying, I haven't even started camp, I have the flu, posting pictures of Chinese food, stuff like that. For me, that's kind of just a little bit of just Billy Joe, maybe just trying to play mind games or something like that. I don't think playing mind games with Canelo would work too much, to be honest with you. I think Canelo's experienced enough to know that. But for my money, if those pictures are legit, that's the best I've seen Billy Joe looking aesthetically, I think, ever. Now, I am one of the few people, I'm not picking Billy Joe to win this fight, by the way, but I am one of the few people who genuinely believes that if Billy Joe turns up in good shape, is switched on, and is understanding that this is the biggest fight of his career and he needs to be the best Billy Joe Saunders he can be, he is going to cause Canelo a world of problems in there, right? Billy Joe's jab from the southpaw stance is good. His movement is good. His judge's distance is good. He's not the biggest puncher in the world, right? So I don't see I'd be amazed, absolutely dumbstruck if Billy Joe was able to stop Canelo or hurt him. But all those things can cause Canelo issues. Now, Billy Joe 168, for my money, his feet are noticeably slower. But if he's in a little bit better shape, a little bit lighter, off the scales, could help him with the foot movement. Because he needs to have good feet in there against Canelo. Because Canelo's going to rip into Billy Joe's body. He is a wicked body puncher. Alright, so that's going to be an issue for Billy Joe. He's going to want to make sure his legs are underneath him and that he can move around the ring well for 12 rounds at a decent pace. This fight's going to go long. Right? Having said all that, those are the things I think Billy Joe can use to offset Canelo. I think that Canelo is a fantastic fighter. Absolutely fantastic. For my money, pound for pound best. And I think that Canelo legitimately will win this fight. Legitimately. It doesn't help or doesn't give you optimism when you hear the promoter who's promoting both guys turn around and say, well, I'm already planning Canelo's next fight. It's like, whoa, he's not this is your fighter and he's not even fought him yet. Billy Joe, it's like, what the hell? So you'd imagine Billy Joe ain't going to get any favours from the judges either, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if after this fight people come out and say, do you know what? Billy Joe, he done well. Some people might even say, if that had been somewhere else or if that had been in the UK, he might have nicked that. I think people will also say that they think Canelo, he'll make Canelo look human, basically. Because for the last few fights, Canelo's been looking every bit as good as he is. But Billy Joe, a slick southpaw, a mover, bit like Erislandy Lara. Although Lara, when he fought Canelo wasn't as good as he is now. Lara really did do a good job running around the ring for 12 rounds. It was a close fight. I thought Canelo just nicked it. But Lara just was happy to run around the ring. But go back and look at Lara versus Canelo. Look at round 3. I think it was the third round anyway. Third or fourth round. I'm pretty sure it was the third round. And look at the schooling Lara did on Canelo in that round. I wonder if Billy Joe could do something similar. Maybe not to that extent, because that was, I said, not the Canelo we have now. But lots of schooling. It was round 3 or 4 in the Canelo fight. Look at that back. I think it was round 3. Lara versus Canelo. Billy Joe, for my money, as I said, I think is going to give Canelo a world of issues. If we have the best Billy Joe and he's in as good a shape as he looks and is purported to be looking at them pictures, we're in for a good night's fight. Mark my words. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I've been wrong about plenty of fights before. You know, I've thought about, oh, this might be this way, and it's been completely the opposite. So if I'm wrong, so be it. I'll hold my hands up. If Canelo ices Billy Joe, in the mid rounds, I'll hand the hands up and say, yep, got it wrong. Thought he would, didn't, etc. But I genuinely believe that we're going to get a good fight here. And Billy Joe, I think, is going to be game. And as I said, if we have Billy Joe in good shape, as he looks here, switched on, motivated, and understanding that this is the best opponent you will have been in the ring with, probably amateur or pro. In fact, definitely. Right? One of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous. Right? And that he needs to be on his A game. This isn't like going to Canada to fight David Lemieux, where people just didn't want you to win because they didn't like you, even though Lemieux is tailor-made for you. This is a fighter who is leagues above Lemieux, so you need to be even better than you were that night. You were good that night, but it helped that the guy played into your strengths. This is a different kettle of fish altogether. Alright? So, for my money, Billy Joe needs to be switched on. As I said, if those pictures are legit, because I don't want to drag this video on too long, are legit, could be in for an interesting night. We could we're going to have 70,000 fans in attendance. It's going to be a hell of an atmosphere. I reckon we're going to get a hell of a fight. I hope nothing happens in between this fight. I really hope nothing happens in between to stop this fight happening. I want to see. I'm looking forward to this fight. I want to see it. I believe that Billy Joe is going to do a very good job in there. I don't think he's going to win, but I think he's going to do better than a lot of people think he will. That's just my opinion. Could be wrong. If I'm wrong, as I said, hold my hands up. But it's nice to see that he is looking apparently in very good shape, that he is taking this serious, he is training properly, and he's not letting himself, oh yeah, like I'm starting camp, but I've got like 10 pounds to lose before I really get into the knit and grit. It looks like he's good to go from the get-go. So I'm intrigued about this fight, lads and lassies. I really am. I'm going to leave it here. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Have you seen the pictures of Billy Joe? Do you, like me, give him a good chance in this fight? Not necessarily to win it, but to definitely cause Canelo a lot of issues in there. Let me know in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you're free to subscribe. We're trying to get to 4K. We're getting there. Alright, smash the like button on the way in or on the way out. Lads and lasses, I hope your Tuesday is going well and the rest of the week. For now, I'll talk to you. I got something planned for later, by the way, so stay tuned for that. Peace.